Okay, for problem 106, they give us four quadratics, and they want us to find the function, or sorry, they want us to find the vertex using vertex form, right? Using vertex form. So to do this, we need to first lay out our tiles. So for A, let's do A first, right? We have, and I'm not using the tool on here, but it's, so mine isn't going to be as pretty, but we can still get this done. And the reason why is it's really hard to use the tool and write on the tool at the same time, and I want to write some things down. So the goal is to build a square out of this, right, using x squared. So as a refresher, right, we have an x squared tile, we have an x tile, and we have little ones, right? So I'm going to try to place that into a square area, maybe not this big, but into a square area. So I'm going to fit an x squared right here. Here's my x squared, right? So I've accomplished this one. Now I need 6 x's, and in general, to make a square, we're going to have to break them in half and put half up here. So here's, whoops, x, x, x. So I'll put 3 x's there. These are all x's, right? So across the top, it's x plus 3, right? And then I'll put 3 more down here, right? 1, 2, 3. So that down here is x plus 3, right? So now my square clearly is not the big one that I drew. My square is going to go here, right? Here's my square. And this other part, right, goes away, right? So here's the square that I drew. Okay, so now we need to fit, so I did the 6 x's, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I need 15 squares. Now the most I can lay here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I have 9, and then I have plus 6 more squares, right? 9 plus 6 is 15, so I have plus 6, right? So written in vertex form, I now have y equals, now first I take this whole thing, the x plus 3 squared, right? So that's x plus 3 squared, right? And then I have this over here, plus 6, which is in vertex form, right? This is vertex form because vertex form, I mean, it can be written different ways sometimes, but most likely it's written as x minus h squared plus k, right? And the vertex then is at h comma k, right? So looking at this, this would be, if I wrote it as x minus h, it would be written as x minus negative 3. So this is negative 3, and then plus k, which is 6. So negative 3, 6 is the vertex. Okay, let's do another one. Let's do B. Okay, so let's make some space here. So B is y equals x squared minus 4x plus 9. Okay, so vertex form again. So I'll put my big x squared tile here, right? X squared. And I'm subtracting 4 x's here. So that would be red on a, I don't know how to convey that, right? It'd be the red side of the tile if we were using algebra tiles. So I'm going to place those there. There's my x's, right? These are x's, right? X's, right? Red x's. So across here it's x minus 2 and x minus 2. So I got my x squared in there and I got my negative 4 x's, 1, 2, 3, 4 in there. Now I need 9 squares, 9 ones, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? Okay, so now I write it in form, y equals. This is x minus 2 squared. It's a square made by sides that have x minus 2, right? And then I have to add 4 more of these, or sorry, 5 more ones because I could only fit, right? I could only fit 4 here, but I need 9, right? So 4 and 5 is 9. Okay, so now the vertex. Remember, it's, y equals, I'm not going to write this every time, x minus h plus k, right? So in this case, h is 2 and k is 5, so the vertex is at 2, 5. Okay, let's do another one. For C, the question is, y equals x squared plus 8x. Okay, so no 1s, right? Okay, so we're going to put our x squared here, and then I can line up 1, 2, 3, 4 x's. These are all x's, right? 1, 2, whoops, they go to here. 3, again, yours will look nicer, right? Okay, so there's 4 x's on each side, so that's 8 x's. So I did those. So this is x plus 4, and this is x plus 4. Now, the problem, I need to make a square, right? So clearly, to make a square, this whole, this whole area needs to be filled in. So I need to fill in 1s over here. And you can quickly see it's 4 by 4, right? So there's going to be 16 1s over here. But I don't have any 1s in my original quadratic. So I have to now subtract off those 16 1s, right? Because I added 16 1s here. So now I have to take them away over here, right? So, because I didn't need them in the first place. So now my equation in vertex form is x plus 4 squared minus the 16, right? So h is negative 4, and y is negative 16, or k in the, right? So the vertex is at negative 4, 16. And let's do the last one. Okay, the last one, we have y equals x squared, right? And this is d, right? D. Plus 5x minus 2. 5x minus 2, right? So for this one, here's my x squared. I'm going to try and draw a little neater for this one because it'll be a little more important. So here's my x squared. Now 5 is tricky, right? Because I'm going to put 1, 2, and a half, right? I'm going to put half. So this is x plus 2.5, or 2.5, whichever way you think of that, right? And then I need to put 2.5 down here. 1, 2, and a half. Okay. So this now, on this side, is x plus 2.5. So I have 1x squared tile and 2.5, 2.5, 5 x's. So I have all those. So now I need to fill the remainder of my square. And I'm going to fill this in red, because I don't need any. Actually, I'm looking for minus 2, right? So I can fit 1 here. Oops, 1 there. I can fit 1 there, 1 there, and 1 there. That's right. So they're all, that's all whole ones. That's 1, 1, 1, 1. That's 4. Now I can fit half here and half here. So far I have 4 and 2 halves, or 5. And then I have another half and another half, which makes 6 total. And then I have this little piece, which is a quarter, right? This one is a quarter, right? And these guys are halves, right? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 halves, that's 5. 2 halves is 6, 6 and a quarter. So I now need to subtract the 6 and a quarter that I added, and 2 more, right? Minus 2. So I need to subtract 8 and a quarter from this, right? Because I don't need any of these, right? And I'm looking for negative 2, right? So I subtract the 8 and a quarter. So my equation now is y equals x plus 2.5 squared, or 2.5 squared, minus 8 1/4, or 8.25, right? Whichever way you want to write it. So the vertex now is at negative 2.5, remember, because it's x minus h, right? So minus negative 2.5, and plus 8.25. So that's plus k, plus a negative 8.25, so negative 8.25. So we have found the vertex when it doesn't come out as nice integers.